ball, we're going to bring it right above our ankles, down at our shins. We're going to walk those feet in so that our feet are in parallel, and there should be a pretty good squeeze on the ball. And that should bring our ankles right underneath our knees, which are right underneath our hip bones. We're going to roll those shoulders up, back, and down a couple times. Relax those shoulders out of your ears. Let's draw those ribs down. Let's pull those abs in, lengthen that tailbone. Make sure those shoulders are a little open. As a matter of fact, let's do a little kind of exaggerated opening here, and then bring the hands down. And of course, we're not popping those ribs up, but we're just staying nice and broad across the shoulders with the shoulders pulled back. And then we're going to lift up onto our toes. We're going to try and balance for a brief moment at the top. As you lift, pause, and lower. Lift, pause, and lower. And then as you get a little more stable, see if you can begin to keep those heels barely touching the ground when you come down, right? So you don't slam down like that. You try to lift up, barely tap, lift up, barely tap. So most of your weight will stay in the toes and the balls of the feet. Whatever you want with your hands, you can hold them. You can have your arms out for balance, whatever works for you. So working those calf muscles, stability in those ankles, 2 more times. And then we're going to stay up on those tippy toes for a moment and just try to balance here. Even if you lower and lift a little, that's okay. And then gently bring that down. And then we're going to step out from that. And we're going to bring that ball between our thighs, and we're going to roll around so that the left leg came in front, right leg behind, and we're going to bend that right leg and slide the left toes forward and back, just grazing them along the ground, creating this movement by the bend and straightening in your right leg. Just 2 more. Beautiful. Now we're going to bring that ball parallel again, abs in as we reach to the side. And as I always mention, when we go to the side, notice that that hip wants to kind of drive a little bit the opposite way. So for a little more challenge, think about scooting it back. You might even think about scooting it toward the leg that's reaching. And again, no or very little weight on those left toes. Beautiful. And then we're going to step forward with the right leg, but we're going to be reaching backwards with the left leg. So we stretch it back as far as we can, sit into that right leg and come up. Reach back and come up and stretch and up and keep that going. Beautiful. And relax. We're going to keep that ball how it is with the right leg in front of the left. And now we'll be bending that left knee and sliding those right toes forward and back. So we just switch sides. Nice. Parallel. So again, this is where that hip might want to skew. So do your best to keep it right underneath you. Beautiful. And then that left leg steps in front so we can reach back with the right leg. And relax, bring that ball out, shake those legs out just a little bit, and then go ahead and let's bring ourselves and the ball down to the mat, and we're going to be sitting right on top of that ball. So left knee is going to bend and right leg is off to the side. And we've made a kind of a V with our legs. So legs aren't straight in front and parallel, but out here. We're just going to start. We're not even bringing that right leg off the ground yet. I just want you to flex your toes back. And I just want you to tighten, really tighten that quadricep without even having to lift it off the ground. You should feel that work already. And then we're going to rotate it in and out. And we're trying to move from the hip joint. And look down at that leg and see if you can see those muscles nice and tight, as if you are wrapping around, you know, kind of protecting the knee. And again, we're moving from the hip, not just from the knee, so that we're keeping that knee protected and strengthening at the same time. And I'm hoping you feel this. Now, if you're not feeling it, you are certainly welcome to lift that leg off the ground and do that same rotation. It might be shorter lived. So play with it. If you're just here on the ground, just like, you won't be getting that. So nice and tight. And again, occasionally, if you want to lift it up and try a few up in the air, that's fine. Last two and last one. We're going to scoot off the ball, and you can just kind of bring it underneath your left side. Take that right leg and try to tuck the knee behind the hip. Roll that hip forward, and then right arm reaches up, up, and then open to the back. Big stretch. And then we're going to come back again, around and down, and then we'll tuck the rib and the hip together and get that deeper stretch through that right leg. And then we'll come on up and sit on the ball, bending the right knee, left leg out to the side, make a nice V. Since we may or may not be lifting that leg off the ground, you might be able to sit a little taller instead of dropping into the ball as we sometimes have to when we lift the leg off the ground. All right, flex those toes back. First, really tighten, tighten, tighten. Feel all that around the knees, tightening around the quad. And then again, moving from your hip, rotate in and out. And at any time you want to, bring it off the ground. See how that is. Bring it back down when you've had enough. Try again every once in a while or not. Just be really conscientious of keeping that whole quadricep area nice and tight. Just a few more here. And once again, we'll roll off the ball. We'll bring that left leg behind us, trying to get the knee farther back than the hip. We're going to rotate that hip a little bit forward. Left arm comes forward, up, around. We open to the back. And then back down and around, and we'll tuck the rib and the hip closer together. Beautiful. And then we're going to bring that up. And before we go into those abs, we're going to work one more time with the lower body by getting the back side now. So rear chain exercise. We're going to lie down. Take a moment, let your spine settle into the ground. If you want to, go into a couple pelvic tilts and tucks. So tuck the hips under, feel that low back go into the ground and the abs come in, and then tip the other way, that low back lifts up, and just play with that a few times. Beautiful. And then we're going to go ahead and put the ball right underneath both feet. Our knees are going to have a tendency to gap open. So I want you to do your best to squeeze the knees together, and then hands on the ground, find a neutral spine and lift up into your bridge. Now, you're welcome to stay here. Couple options. Lift your hands off the ground. You might feel that intensify through the hamstrings and the glutes, or put the hands back down and try a little roll forward and back if you want to do a little more intensity for the hamstrings. Or you can take a drop and a lift, a small drop and lift, or you could drop all the way down and lift all the way up. So take your choice, and we're doing 12. You can do some combination of those things if you want. And hopefully that was 12 for everyone. Bring that ball behind the knees for a moment. Bring your hands onto the shins, pull the shins down so your heels get closer to your hips, and then hug in. Beautiful. And now we're going to put that ball underneath the left foot only. Once again, find your nice neutral spine and lift your hips. So a couple options. Of course, you could hover your hands and roll the ball forward and back just for some nice hamstring work. Or it's kind of a big jump, but go ahead and put your hands back down and then lift that right leg up. And then from there, you can lift a little higher. That's the one I kind of like. You could roll the ball in and out. And relax. Ball rolls underneath the right foot. Left foot on the ground. And we lift up. And again, you can hover and roll forward and back. Or if you want that bigger challenge, that left leg comes up in the air. And then we go higher. And relax. All right. We're going to bring that ball behind the right leg. We're going to stretch that left leg out on the ground and give that right knee a nice hug in, starting to get a little hamstring stretch. Maybe even pull your right toes back towards you. And then stack that leg. It's not going to be completely tabletop, and you're going to hold on to the knee. You're going to bend that left leg and extend it up in the air. On the exhale, we're going to lift ourselves up and we're going to pull the right knee in as we stretch the left leg away. So we're going to pull, exhaling, inhale, legs toward each other, exhale, and inhale. So it's kind of a little bit like single leg pull. If you wanted to, you could bring your hands instead to the ball, and that way you can get a slightly deeper hamstring stretch possibly. If this is bothering your neck, you're welcome to leave your neck on the ground, your head on the ground, and use the levers, that long leg, to create your resistance. 2 more. And then left leg goes all the way down, bring that right knee in, and this time we're going to reach down and pull those toes back and press the heel to the sky for a slightly deeper hamstring stretch, and then we'll stretch the right leg out. And hopefully it actually feels stretched out. And then that ball comes behind the left knee. We'll grab that shin or right below the knee. We'll give it a hug in. And then we're going to bring that right leg up in the air. And then on the exhale, we're going to reach through the right leg as we bring the left knee in. They come toward each other. And reach and toward. Good. So head, neck, and shoulders can be up. They can be down if your neck is bothering you. And then we're going to put that right leg back down. We're going to hug that knee in deeper, maybe even grab the sides of the ball, deeper, deeper stretch. Pull back on those toes if you want. And then we'll stretch that left leg out, arms overhead, nice long stretch of the spine. Nod the head yes. So that chin is slightly tucked in, and then we're gonna bring that ball right above us. Deep breath in. Exhale, float the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. Just try and get both shoulder blades off, and then reach your arms by your ears, but keep your head, neck, and shoulders lifted. And then we'll exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, reach the arms by your ears. And exhale, bring them above you as you come down. Deep breath in. Exhale to lift. Inhale to stretch and reach. Exhale down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift. So we're doing a partial roll up. It also looks a lot like ab prep, but with straight legs. Keep the breathing going. Always inhale to prepare, exhale to move, inhale to reach, and exhale to move. Beautiful. Last time. And bring it down. Okay, we're going to put that ball somewhere where you think you can keep it, preferably on the front side of your body. So maybe you make a valley with your belly button. If that doesn't work for you, maybe it goes up on your ribs and you try and hold it steady. Okay, so you make a choice of where it's going to be, and then you're going to start to move your lower body without knocking that ball up, right? So it's either ribs or it can be in your belly button. And then see if you can start to bring the legs into tabletop without touching the ball and without moving the ball. Welcome back. So we're stable here. We're just holding that ball in place, legs in tabletop. That might be enough. You might feel that already. When you want more challenge, you go into toe touches. Single leg is fine. It could be a heel tap. You can try it on the ribs, or again, it can be down at the belly button. You can be doing both legs at the same time. Both legs in heel tap. Even a little froggy turnout if you want. And relax, take a quick break. And then we're going to lift those hips up as if we're doing a bridge again, and bring that ball just underneath the tailbone, right? So when we come down, it's sort of wedged, right? On an angle like that, not way up underneath your low back, please. And then from there, we'll stack those legs tabletop, but tabletop will be, if you're still at that right angle at your hip, your knees will be towards your chest. Hands down to start with, sorry, unstable environment. And then maybe just do one or two single leg toe touches to see how that is. And then try and lift the legs, or excuse me, the hands up and try those same toe touches. And that should definitely be more challenging. And if you want to, you do both legs at the same time. Your ribs, you have to be extra conscientious about, they're going to want to lift up. Couple more, keep that going for me, please. And then bridge up, bring that out from under you. All right. So we're doing scissors with the ball just to add a little extra stretch here. So right leg comes up and ball is behind that calf. And then left leg in that scissor position. We're going to exhale, pull in and in. Inhale to switch. And switch. Keep everyone. And relax. Hug those knees in just very briefly. And now we're going to put that ball between the knees and give it a squeeze. We're going to put the feet on the ground and we're just going to work those inner thighs for a second. Hands down on your low abs. Deep breath in. Big toes touch. Squeeze the ball as hard as you can for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the squeeze. Again, squeeze and release. And again, squeeze and release and squeeze. Keep doing that. So again, we're just working those inner thighs a little bit. Last time, squeeze, lift those legs, tabletop, and then slide the ball down to the ankles. Now, you can keep the knees bent just as we did a few minutes ago for toe touch, or you can extend the legs straight for double leg lower for a little more challenge. If that's too much of a long lever, too much challenge for the hamstrings or low back, bent knees are fine. Nod the head, yes. Lower your legs slightly, keeping those ribs flat, abs in, low back the same distance. When you get to a challenge point, I want you to squeeze the ball, just like we did a moment ago, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring the ball up. So try not to swing the legs up. Lower and squeeze. And lift. And again, we're going to lower and squeeze. And slowly lift. We're going to keep that going. Two more. All right, let's bring that ball down to the fronts of our ankles and then hands on top of the ball. We're going to start rolling like a ball. Exhaling to roll, inhaling a little pause at the top. And then next time you come to the top, let's go ahead and sit up on that ball again. As you come up on that ball, legs go wide, sit tall through your spine. Maybe keep a little bend in your knees to start with, and give me a nice hinge. Flat back. And then you can start to play with straightening your legs, rolling a little forward on the ball, possibly, so you get that little lift with the tailbone. And then we'll lift all the way up and we'll slide forward just enough that that ball wedges behind your sacrum. So you can literally lean back and you're not in a full-on lazy boy recliner, but you have support at your low back. So it should be a little easier on the spine. So because of that, I want you to, since we kind of have protection here, I want you to keep those knees squeezed together, arms out into a T. You're going to rotate toward me, and that back arm is going to lift just a little bit. As much as the front arm goes down, the back arm goes up. Come back through center, other way. Inhale through center, exhale to twist. Every time you come back to center, take a look at the knees and see if they've started to move one forward and the other back. And then do your best to keep them even. And we're going to relax. We're going to take a moment and roll over onto our side. I'm going to put that ball underneath the bottom ankle. So we're going to stack our legs up. Make sure the ball is on the shin or the ankle. If it's on the foot, it'll be a little bit too easy. We wouldn't want that. All right, so mouse house as always, arm underneath your ear, long straight line in your body so you can't really see your toes. If you're in the right spot, your feet might already feel sort of wobbly. Take that bottom leg, flex it, and push into the ball as you lift that top leg, point that top leg and flex down if you can. If that feels confusing, you can keep both legs flexed. So as we do this sideline leg series, or part of it anyway, just keep that in mind that your lower leg is pushing into the ball. And again, if it's on the bony part of your leg, it should be a little more challenging. Let's leave that top leg up, bottom leg where it is, flex through both heels, and then equally you're gonna push, push, push. So bottom foot is pushing down against the ball. You might feel, it gets really wobbly. That's awesome. Top leg is pressing up with the foot flex. 2, 1, and bend. You give that top hip some love. All right. We're gonna stay on this same side for our little side plank series. So keep that in mind, which way your head is facing the camera. As always with side planks, that bottom arm, you want the elbow right underneath the shoulder. You want to push back, lift up out of it. And then nice long straight line with your hips a little forward and your chest a little back for good alignment. Then we're going to bring that ball, and we're going to put it where it's barely touching. Sit down on it for a second and make sure your hips aren't behind you. Tuck them forward just a little bit, straighten out those legs, and then come up off the ball completely. Tap it, tap it, tap it, tap it. And then come on down. Option, as always, to stay with that one if you don't like the balance one. The balance one, of course, means that your bottom foot goes on first toward the back. Leave a lot of space for your top leg. And then come on up, side plank. Stay up there as long as you like. And then we're coming over to the other side, and we'll start with that sideline leg series though. So again, that ball is underneath your shin, your calf, down toward the ankle, but not as far as the foot. And then you stack those legs up. We're going to flex through the bottom heel and push down against the ball. Lift your waistline up. Top leg can point and flex to come down, or if that's confusing, you can keep it flexed the whole time. And the whole time you're pressing down with that bottom foot against the ball, or that bottom leg. Now leave that top leg up there, flex through both feet, and then we're just going to push down on the ball as we push open, push down and open, down and open. So the bottom leg pushes down, the top leg pushes up, keeping that waistline off the ground though. And relax. And again, we'll stay on this same side for that side plank. As always, do your best to get that shoulder protected underneath or away from the ear, elbow underneath that, everything else lined up. Bring it on up, and then that ball goes underneath you. You stack it up, rest on it for a second, and then lift and lift. Gently come down. Stick with that one. Do another round of that if you prefer to the balance. If you want to do the balance, that bottom ankle goes on first, leaving a lot of space for that top leg, top foot. And then as you're ready, come on up, side plank, other side. When you're ready, come down. And then we're on our abs. Forehead toward the top of the mat and ball out on the floor. Legs are straight, toes are pointed, kneecaps slightly lifted. Hands on top of the ball, deep breath in. Exhale, belly button pulls in, and we press down on the ball just to lift ourselves slightly parallel with the mat. And then on the inhale, roll those shoulder blades out of your ears, squeeze them together to pull the ball back a little bit. You might get a little higher, but I don't want a whole lot of intensity in the low back. I want some focus on that upper spine. And then relax. Deep breath in. Exhale to press, lift, squeeze. And down. Deep breath in. Exhale, press. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Head in line with your spine. And then one more time, press down, squeeze back, and relax. All right, let's press back and rest. You can bring that ball between your hamstrings and knees if that would feel good, or all the way back on your heels. As you come forward, put that ball in the center of the mat so it ends up right underneath your belly button, basically. And then sort of a nice supported cobra here. Let's think about rolling the shoulders out of your ears. Imagine that you're dragging your chest forward so the shoulders pull back and down, and that chin is slightly tucked, back of the neck is long. And then from here, we're going to go into a plank, either by bending those knees and rolling onto the fronts of the thighs, or tucking those toes and pressing up. And then if you're on your toes, you could see if you could roll the ball forward and back without squishing it. And then as you're ready, come up onto your hands and knees. Oh, no, what am I thinking? Sorry. Balance. Forward plank balance if you want. Maybe it's underneath your ankles. Maybe it's underneath the tops of your toes. And as always, your hands are apart. And then come down. Put that ball between your knees for just a moment. We're going to undulate through a cow and a cat. So movement through the body. Nice. All right. From there, let's find a beautiful neutral spine, right? So abs are pulled in, tailbone is long. You still have a little bit of arch in your spine, but not an aggressive, drop. Abs are pulled in. And then take that ball and bring it underneath your left hand. You're going to extend those left toes, and then just see if you can lift that left leg off the ground. Now you're welcome to stay there. That's already a lot. If you wanted to, you could walk your right hand forward and come up on the tips of your fingers. Or for the most challenge, you could actually lift that right arm by your ear. If you wanted to add a tap and lift, you're welcome to do so. If that throws off the balance, maybe just stabilize. And gently bring that down. Ooh, let's roll that back one more time, cat and cow. Find that nice neutral spine, abs in, a little bit of arch in your spine, and the ball goes underneath your right hand. Right leg extends, and we'll lift it up. Maybe that's where we stay, or we pike those left fingers up toward the front, or bring them up by your ear. And again, welcome to stay there, or tap and lift. And then gently bring that down. And once again, we're going to sit up on that ball. And legs are out in that V. You want to sit nice and tall. And as always, knees have a little bit of bend in them as needed so that you don't round your spine. Or if you're able to sit tall and straighten the legs, that's fine. We're going to extend the arms out. We're going to rotate that left hand towards your right leg. Hinge, reach back, back, back with your right arm. And inhale, center. Other way, right arm stretches to the left, reach back with the left. And inhale, center. Keep your toes flexed back towards your face for the sol here. Twisting and reaching. Inhaling, sitting tall. Exhale, twist and reach. Inhale, sit tall. And then on this last one, we're going to bring those feet together for our seated twist. Big toes together. So that's going to be our checkpoint. Hopefully those toes will stay together. Sitting up on this ball makes that seated twist extra challenging. So arms to the side, we're going to twist to the right 3 times. Here we go. Exhale, twist, twist, twist. Inhale, center to the left. And center. Center. And relax. Woo! All right. Roll back to where we started with that wedged position, and then go a little farther back so the ball comes underneath your low back. Grab the backs of your hamstrings and hug those knees in. So you feel really supported in this position, and then just lift those legs tabletop. Then you get to put your hands out to the side to support yourself. You want to make sure the knees don't begin to gravitate away, and we're just going to let them rotate side to side. And keep that going for me, please. And then if you want, add a little kick for the can-can. And then feet down, and we're going to roll even farther forward so the ball comes underneath your shoulder blades. We're going to start a little bit differently today for the negative to neutral. I'm going to take my right hand behind my head and cross it to touch my left shoulder. So I have a good cradle around that head. And then left hand comes across and touches the right shoulder. So I've completely supported my head without pulling it up and forward. So that should help keep it in neutral. I'm going to lower my head back if I don't get vertigo and let the ribs pop up. And since your hands are crossed like this, probably that left wrist might touch the ground. Deep breath in. On the exhale, using your abs, not your arms, push into the ball to float the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. And there's just that gentle little bit of support over your head. So again, we inhale up and over and we exhale to close down. Two more. Beautiful. Uncross your arms, and now we'll go left arm first, then right arm, and we'll continue. And then allow yourself to drop back. You're going to give yourself a stretch. Now you have a couple options. If that's too much cervical extension, you could leave your hands behind your head and keep your elbows bent. If you're okay with it, you could straighten out your arms. If you want even more support, you prop your head up. So lots of options there. Choose which one makes sense for you right now today. But you should feel a nice stretch across your chest. And then all I want you to do is roll a little bit forward so the ball comes a little higher. And then finally, you get to roll all the way off the ball and move it out of the way. And just bring your head down, and that should actually feel pretty good. You can let that ball rest in your valley again of your abs. And let's just do that same stretch with the arms out in a T position, but with your spine down on the ground this time. And then we're going to add one little element to that. So go ahead and move the ball now just between your legs. It's just going to keep it somewhere. Let the knees drop to the left. A little twist here, but then I want you to bring the right arm up and over, tap the left hand, sweep the right arm along the ground and come back through center, and then lift your legs back up. Then let the knees drop to the left, or to the right, sorry. Left arm comes up and over. Tap your right hand, slide that left arm along the ground above your head, open to the side, and back through center. We do that one more time. Knees drop left, right arm follows, up and overhead, around and down, legs come back through center, drop to the right, left arm over, reach it, slide it, and back through center. All right, and then we're going to stretch it out now. So we're going to start by bringing that ball behind the right knee, and we'll use our hands on the ball to hug that knee in and over to the right. Let the left leg drop open to the left. You could, if you wanted to, even put the ball on the ground and let that right knee rest on it. Different kind of stretch here. And then if you chose to do that, bring the ball back behind you as you straighten the left leg and bring the right leg back through center. And we'll give it a big hug in so that the rib and the thigh touch. And then we'll rotate so that that ball is pressing the shin perpendicular with the ground. And we'll reach up if you can with the right fingers, pull the right toes back. So we're getting hamstring and calf stretch. And then just move the ball out of the way. And we'll stretch that right leg out all the way. Or if you prefer, you can put the ball behind the leg for support. And then we'll close it again behind that right leg. And we'll bring that right leg across in a little twist. And then back through center, drop it and drape it across your left thigh, bend that left knee, press that right leg open, put your left hand on your left hip to push it the opposite way. And then grab that ball and bring it behind the left hamstring as you bring that leg in. Extend that left leg up, we'll flex and point and rotate through that. And then close the ball with that left leg. Right leg goes over top, hug the knees in, and let them drop to the left, please. And then come back through center, uncross the leg. And left leg drops left, right leg drops right. Stay with that, or even put the ball on the ground if you want. Let the left leg rest against it. And then back through center, right leg straightens. We grab the ball. We're going to pull that knee in so the thigh and the rib touch. And then we'll flip so the shin is perpendicular. Maybe reach up with your left fingers if you can to pull those left toes back. Straighten that leg out and hold on, or put the ball behind it, totally up to you. And then no matter what, the ball comes behind that leg as your knee drops to the right, please. Nice and easy back through center. Drape it open. Bend the right knee. Press the right hip down and the left knee wide open. And then we'll thread that needle. Right toes, point and flex at the ankle if you want, and maybe rotate. And then we'll bring that ball behind. Left leg crosses over, arms to the right, or arms open, knees to the right. And then back through center. We're going to come up hands and knees, maybe just put the ball behind between your thighs. And roll through your cat-cow. And then press it up into your down dog. Feel free to pedal your heels out as always. And then little cat-cow on the way up. Big deep breath in. Happy Saturday. All right.